Black children weren't allowed inside a public swimming pool funded by taxes, including black taxes, in the 1950s. Their goal was simple: keep black people powerless, even after slavery ended. They were called the Ku Klux Klan. The name Ku Klux Klan comes from a mix of words: kaiklos, a Greek word meaning circle, clan meaning family. In other words, they saw themselves as a brotherhood built to protect white power. But one black man looked at the Ku Klux Klan and said, no. Not with a speech, not with a prayer, but with organization, courage, and guns. And what happened next shocked everyone. No one believed it when the KKK vanished from his town. Stay till the end, because what I revealed later explains why this story was hidden. This is the true story of Robert F. Williams. Note, this story was gathered from leftvoice.org, blackpast.org, and wikipedia.org. Quick shout out to them for documenting this history. We'll drop the article links in the description. Before we go any further, you need to understand who the Ku Klux Klan really were, because without this part, what Robert F. Williams did next won't fully make sense. The Ku Klux Klan, often called the KKK, was not just a hate group, it was a terror organization. It was founded right after the Civil War in 1865 by former Confederate soldiers. Their goal was simple: keep black people powerless, even after slavery ended. The term Ku Klux Klan was formed by combining different words. One came from a Greek word meaning circle, another meaning family. Together, the name was meant to suggest a tight-knit group, a so-called brotherhood created to preserve white dominance. But the name itself hides the truth of what they really stood for. The KKK didn't use speeches, they used fear. They wore white robes and hoods not for tradition, but to hide their identities and to look like ghosts. That was psychological warfare. Imagine being a black family in the South, seeing armed men on horses, faces hidden, showing up at night, burning crosses, firing guns, dragging people from their homes. That wasn't symbolism, that was a message. And the message was, we can kill you and no one will stop us. Because most of the time, no one did. Local police were often members. Judges protected them. Juries refused to convict them. The KKK wasn't outside the system. They were the system. That's why they didn't fear the law. The law worked for them. Between the late 1800s and the mid-1900s, the KKK was responsible for lynchings, bombings, beatings, church burnings, and mass intimidation. And here's the part most people don't realize. The KKK didn't just target black people. They also targeted anyone who supported civil rights, union organizers, journalists, priests and pastors, and white allies. If you challenged white supremacy, you became a target. By the 1920s, the KKK had millions of members nationwide: governors, senators, police chiefs, all connected. So when we say Monroe, North Carolina had 7,500 Klansmen, that wasn't an exaggeration. That was normal for the South at the time. And this is why Robert F. Williams mattered, because no group in America had ever openly forced the KKK to retreat without federal troops, without court orders, without government protection, until one black community said, enough. So now that you understand who the KKK were, let me show you what happened when they finally met someone who wasn't afraid of them. And with that in mind, what Robert F. Williams did next wasn't reckless, it was revolutionary. Monroe, North Carolina, a small southern town, about 12,000 people, and according to the press at the time, 7,500 of them were Ku Klux Klansmen. Let that sink in. That means the KKK wasn't hiding. They were the town. They were the police. They were the judges. They were the juries. They were the law. And black residents were reminded of that every single day. In the 1950s, the city built a public swimming pool funded by taxes, including black taxes, but black children weren't allowed inside. Instead, they drowned in ponds, in rivers, in unsafe swimming holes. So the local black community did something radical. They asked politely. They asked the city for 1 or 2 days a week. Guess what the city's response was? Before I continue, subscribe to this channel. It's sad that some people won't subscribe, but it's fine. Please subscribe now and support us. Alright, let's get back to the story. They asked the city for 1 or 2 days a week, but they told them it would be too expensive because the pool would need to be drained and refilled after black children used it. That lie tells you everything. This wasn't about money, it was about control. And that's when Robert F. Williams stepped in. Robert wasn't born powerful. He was born in 1925 in Monroe, the grandson of enslaved people. As a child, he watched police beat and drag a black woman through the street. That moment never left him. As a young man, he moved north to Detroit, worked in auto factories, joined the labor union, survived the 1943 Detroit race riot, served in the U.S. Marines. So by the time he returned to Monroe in 1955, Robert had seen violence, racism, and how power actually works. And when he became president of the local NAACP chapter, he wasn't interested in respectability politics. He wanted results. When black residents began peaceful picketing at the swimming pool, the response wasn't dialogue. It was bullets. White men opened fire. Police stood by. Nobody was arrested. Everyone knew who did it: the Ku Klux Klan. This is the moment where history usually tells us nonviolence will win in the end. But Robert F. Williams saw reality clearly. He said, nonviolence doesn't work when the other side is shooting. So he did something no civil rights leader had openly done before. He organized armed self-defense. Robert applied for a charter from the National Rifle Association. Yes, that NRA. He formed a group called the Black Armed Guard, about 60 men. Many were military veterans. They didn't patrol streets. They didn't attack anyone. They made one promise: if the Klan attacks us, we will defend ourselves. And in 1957, the Klan tested that promise. The Klan planned to attack the home of Dr. Albert Perry, a black physician and NAACP leader. Robert and his men arrived first. They stacked sandbags, took defensive positions, and waited. Then the Klan showed up. Cars rolled through the night. Gunfire came from the windows. And for the first time, the Klan was met with returned fire. Not chaos, not panic, discipline. The result? The Klan retreated. And according to Robert himself, they didn't have any more stomach for this type of fight. Here's the part they never teach you in school. After that night, the KKK stopped raiding the black community in Monroe. Not slowly, not eventually, immediately. The Klan was dismantled, not by laws, but by consequences. Now here's where the story gets insane. The same city officials who said the KKK had a constitutional right to exist held an emergency meeting and passed a law banning the Klan from Monroe unless they got special permission from the police chief. You'd think this would be national news. It wasn't. White newspapers went silent. Black newspapers mostly avoided it too. Williams later explained why. No one wanted Negroes to get the impression this was an accepted way to deal with the Klan, because if black Americans learned this lesson, everything would change. When Robert spoke openly about the injustice of the courts, when he said black people couldn't rely on the law, the backlash was swift. The national NAACP suspended him. Major newspapers attacked him. And years later, it was revealed that Thurgood Marshall quietly passed information about Williams to the FBI. Yes, one black leader undermining another to keep the system calm. The government accused Robert of kidnapping a white couple, a charge later dropped, but it forced him into exile. He fled to Cuba, then China, then Africa. From Cuba, he broadcast Radio Free Dixie, reaching thousands of black Americans, despite U.S. attempts to block the signal. Here's the insane truth I promised earlier. Robert F. Williams proved the KKK was never brave. They were only powerful when they believed there would be no consequences. The moment black people organized, trained, and defended themselves, everything changed. Now, what do you think about this story? Drop your thoughts in the comments.